There was a Yid, a simple Jew, named Reb Nachum Schuster. Reb Nachum came from a family of shoemakers. He was a simple Yid, but a very good Jew, a Jew with a good heart. And when he came of age, his parents sent him to travel from his hometown of Lomzha in Poland to Bardichev in the Ukraine. Because in Bardichev there were other shoemakers and they were going to teach him the craft, the family craft. So Reb Nachum packed up his little belongings and he traveled to Bardichev. And in Bardichev there was a particular shul where all the shoemakers were daven. It wasn't a very high-class shul. Shoemaker was a simple parnasa. And for that reason, the Breslovers were able to use some of the space or rent some of the space there. And he met the Breslovers. And Reb Nachum, being a good Jew with a good heart who wanted to serve Hashem in simplicity, he was very taken aback by the Breslovers. He would join them in their avodas Hashem. And one of the things that impressed him was the Tikkun Chatzos. Every night at midnight, the Breslovers would get together and they'd cry out to Hashem and cry about the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash, the Churban HaBayis. And Reb Nachum really took this to heart, and he took it upon himself to wake up every evening at midnight and say the Tikkun Chatzos. And he returned after a while back to his hometown of Lomzha. Now Lomzha was known as a town of Lamdonim. Some of the greatest Talmidei Chachamim would gather in the shul in Lomzha and learn together until the late hours of the night. And when Reb Nachum returned back to Lomzha, he came to the Beis Medrash, he came in at nighttime, and he would go and he would sit next to the furnace, and he would sit on the floor, and he would take out his siddur, and he would cry and cry and cry while he said the words of the Tikkun Chatzos. And Reb Nachum didn't even know how to read the words properly. He was really a simple Jew. And when the Lamdonim would see this, they saw him, they were curious to know what he was doing. After a few nights, they went over to him and they said, Reb Nachum, what are you doing sitting on the floor over there? What are you saying? So he turned to them with a very sincere face and he said, I'm saying the Tikkun Chatzos. They started to laugh in his face. They said, Tikkun Chatzos, in Poland in those days, only a few tzaddikim, Yichidei Segula, a few special people would say Tikkun Chatzos. It wasn't something that the common folk would go and do. And they were laughing. They said, what are you saying to him? Where did you learn about this? Where did you get this? And he said, listen, let me tell you something. You are all tremendous Talmidei Chachamim, Lamdonim, very scholarly, very deep people. So for you, you don't miss the Beis HaMikdash so much. You can learn Gemara, you can learn Lomdus. He said, for me, I'm just a simple Jew. I have nothing. So I miss the Beis HaMikdash tremendously, and I'm crying out to Hashem. In that group of Lamdonim, there were two Yidden. One of them, his name was Reb Mordechai Halberstam. He had already had smicha from the Beis HaLevi, and he would go on to become a great goyin and a poisek, and he was the Rav in the town of Sokolov. And he was very, very taken aback by this simple Jew's words. And he went over to him later and he said, Reb Nachum, who taught you about this Tikkun Chatzos? And he said, I was in Barditch, and he told him the whole story. He told him about the Bresler Chassidim. This Reb Nachum Schuster, the simple shoemaker, with his sincere words of longing to Hashem and missing the Beis HaMikdash, he was able to make such an impression on this great Rav that he also drew him towards the teachings of Rabbi Nachman. And it was very well known that when this great Rav, Mordechai Halberstam, would walk through the streets, he would always be walking with Reb Nachum, and they would talk in avodas Hashem with each other. And people would laugh and not understand, why is this great Rav talking with a simple Jew? But the words of the simple Jew and the meaning of the simple Jew, people even on the highest levels couldn't match his sincerity and the deep feeling that he had in those words. And we should take this lesson to heart. And just remember, Rabbi Nachman said, the greatest thing is Tvimus Upshitas, being simple with Hashem. We have no idea how powerful it is, both in this world with our influence on other people, and also in the Shemayim, on all the Malachim, all the great Malachim and Shemayim, they shake and they quake from the Tmimis of a simple Jew. Have a great day.